All right, click the links to join the channel here or over at the subscribe star. So what does this Lando guy, Donald Glover, bring to the table for Star Wars? Does he know Star Wars? Does he love Star Wars? You know, honestly, for Disney, it really doesn't matter anymore. I think with this case, they're just kind of hoping for name recognition. So Lando actor is set to co-write the upcoming Star Wars series. It like with Disney, you look at Disney and you just think this has got to be the biggest money laundering scheme on earth. Is there something else going on with Disney? Because it's just too weird that these people are making these consistent. Oh, Kathleen Kennedy, she's going to be out. There's some stupid rumor about Kathleen Kennedy from all those channels. She's there because Disney wants her there. It's not. She's she's not blackmailing Disney. They want her there. They're happy with the direction that these people are going in. That's just the brutal reality. There's not going to be like a saving moment for Disney where somebody comes to their senses. They keep going in the same direction for years. Obviously, this is what they intend. They like what Kathleen Kennedy is doing, even though you look at this. So Indy, that Indy movie, Indy what 5? That didn't do too well. Yeah. I mean, some people would say it was woke. I know that word triggers a lot of people because I mean, they had a chick who kind of took the lead and kind of put Indy in his place repeatedly, and nobody really wanted to see that because that's not what they were on board with for the first 4 movies. And and Harrison Ford's about 200 years old. They're like, yeah, and it lost money. Yeah, they're like, we're planning part 6 now. Okay, by all means, please. So Disney Plus has got yet another Star Wars show that is got very little interest behind it, as all their streaming shows. There's like 6 or 7 Disney Plus Star Wars shows that people know the Mando, and that's kind of about it. And it's like what are they called? Not the Acolyte, but Andor Star Wars ago. It's the greatest Star Wars that nobody watched. Well, I saw a couple episodes of it, and press F to doubt. The original trilogy was the greatest Star Wars that everybody watched, and the new streaming Star Wars, no, it's not Star Wars. The sets look great, for sure, but the writing is millennials who I don't think have seen the original Star Wars, or they saw the original trilogy, and they go, oh, this is how we can improve it. And you look at them, and you're like, are you out of your effing mind? Those shows were massive successes, and they were also a cultural phenomenon. And you look at these like 30-year-old writers, and you think like, you're going to improve on George Lucas's Star Wars and the original crew working for him. You had the best people on earth. Especially if you want to look at Empire Strikes Back. Like, yeah, we're going to update it and modernize it, and you're just going to ruin it, aren't you? That's exactly what we're going to do. So they've got this show, and they're bringing back Lando from the original trilogy, who was introduced in Empire, and he was obviously a huge success. The guy had a lot of personality. It was like Han and Lando were kind of competing back and forth for who had the most personality, and that was the thing about the whole trilogy, that Luke was the lead, but he was kind of the quiet monk character, which he played very well. But it was the other characters. It was an ensemble cast, and back then people understood what an ensemble cast. It was a team. They all had teamwork. And now, if you remade the original trilogy, Princess Leia would be like, they remade the animation version of it, and they had her push in the New Hope. They had her push the guys in the garbage chute. When in the original, she actually picked up the blaster and was going to town on these people. And then they had did she do that in the original? Maybe I'm getting confused. But they had her like swing on the rope and carry Luke or something bizarre like that. It's like, that's just these people are like amateurs, and they're trying to rewrite these masterclass, and they just can't do it because, I mean, they're the millennials. I think, like, yikes, my guy, that just happened. Anyway, so the original characters had a lot of personality. Luke, Leia, Vader, Lando, the general, whatever his face was, who they brought back in CGI for Rogue One, which is a little bit creepy. So all the leads were just lightning in a bottle. You're never going to get that chemistry back again. So it's kind of weird to see Disney try. But maybe Disney is hoping kids want to see Glover play Lando. So they're going to go to see him and not so much the character because they're probably just not familiar with the originals because their dads didn't pull out the VCR and dust off. This is a VHS tape, kids, and show them how it all got started. They should because those movies hold up pretty well in capturing the excitement of the story. But, it was a cultural phenomenon in 1977. You're never going to be able to explain that to people who have a cell phone in their hand that can, talk to a satellite. It's just they have too many distractions nowadays for kids to get excited about like going to a concert or something. Anyway, so Lando in the Disney version is from the Solo movie. That was a huge bomb. That was the first bomb in Star Wars history. Even Rogue One made $1 billion. I saw that in the theaters. A pretty solid movie, but it was at a time of renewed interest in Star Wars, and it had Vader at the end of it, and it had Leia and the General via CGI. But there was interest in Star Wars, even if the first Star Wars movie with the Mary Sue girl didn't do too well. Anyway, so Solo tried to capture the two characters who had the most personality in the original films. It was impossible. They didn't have the charm and they didn't have the physical presence. And that's another thing that people aren't really focusing on too much, is that in the remake, you hired two guys who were manlets. The least they could have done was get actors who were tall enough to pull off the roles and in better physical shape. Glover and Eichner were hobbit-sized at like 5'9". They would have had to have them stand on boxes when they do the blocking for the shots. Hobbits are not good leading men. You want the guys they have to look physically like the original actors. So Harrison Ford, when he was younger, was something like 4 inches taller. That creates a whole different vibe for the movie and his relationship to other characters and even his relationship to the sets. It's just something you can't put your finger on, but it's there. It's just this little subconscious problem with the new stuff. Plus, Harrison Ford was in very good physical shape. Either lucky genetics or the dude was lifting weights for Star Wars and Indy. So the new Solo turned into a midget and looks like a soy boy. It's really not too much to ask your actors to lift weights and stay in shape for the role. And I mean, they've got enough money to consult with a nutrition and get on some like low carb meal plan and, have a weightlifting set, a home gym type of thing. It's like they have no excuse. Like ordinary people stay in good shape, and when you have an actor who's kind of paid to portray a certain role, it's like, oh, you kind of didn't want to cut down that last little bit of body fat. Even Brie Larson is working her ass off to stay in shape. Anyway, so here's how streaming platforms work. The goal of Disney isn't necessarily to get you to watch one show, because they get paid by the monthly or the yearly subscription. As long as you pay, they don't care what you watch or if you watch anything at all. The goal with a show like Lando is to get fans of Glover to sign up and get that $15 a month. They'll start watching Lando and discover it sucks. And then, half the time you're subbing to these things and for $15, and then they raise after 2 months they raise it to $17, and people just let the thing. They just stay subscribed so that they can watch the older shows, which are much better. Obviously, if I had to guess, I'd say that that's the case with a lot of the streaming business model, because everything new is woke SJW anal cancer. Wait, now that I look at this thing, the recent house party. How well did the original house parties do? Was that like Kid and Play back in the friggin' 90s? I think they made 3 of those kind of things. Those were kind of like straight to VCR rental type of thing. God, renting movies back in the day was so much fun. So how well did the new house party do? I have no idea. Anyway, so imagine watching new movies. I look at everything out there and think, I can't imagine getting excited for anything new. But like I said, if you want me to go see a movie, pay for the ticket, and I'll go see it and review it probably that day because I can walk to the theater. Anyway, so the goal of Lando is just to get people in the door, and hopefully I guess it's kind of like a loss leader, but it's a little different with the streaming business model. And they got 90 million subs, I think. So it's like they're doing something right, even if their movies aren't doing well and their theme parks and cruise lines aren't doing as well as they should. The thing is, you just want to get people in door, and hopefully they'll find other stuff they like, because a lot of the earlier stuff was very very well done. They've got animation. Animation probably for the kids for sure up until like 2010 was really solid, and there's just so much Disney stuff. They were putting out stuff in the 80s and 90s that was absolutely huge. or people will just let the subscription run. And like Disney doesn't care if you're not watching anything, they don't have to report those watch times. It's not like TV with the old Nelson ratings type of things. It's just a monthly subscription. So honestly, I think it's kind of made it's made the production of new shows worse because they don't have to stand on their own. They're just part of a total background package to get you to subscribe. My subscribe star is only $2 a month, but admittedly, I don't bring much to the table other than feet pics that will probably turn you off of feet pics forever. But you know, for the right price, I would probably, or maybe not. I'm looking at my feet now, wearing a pair of Birkenstocks. I don't care what anybody says about Birkenstocks. Those things are comfortable and they're long lasting. I know they were in that Margot Robbie movie, but whatever. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys on the next episode.